Dear guests, what a beautiful award. Do you know what kind of award this is? No? Nobody knows? Of course you know. It's the Merit Award. Ladies and gentlemen, now we come to an important moment in our Congress, the EPP Merit Award. And here to present the award is our plenary chair, Rut Peetoom. Je mag er weer bij komen, Rut. And please come into the room, because this is really a very important moment. Okay, the floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, we in our EPP family have seen the extraordinary courage shown by opposition leader Alexei Navalny in his fight for democracy, for freedom and for human rights against the Putin regime. Only all the more so since his unjust imprisonment starting in January 2021. We have seen his brave and his brilliant investigations to expose a corrupt system for what it is. We have seen how he inspired so many countless others to carry on the struggle. And we have seen Alexei's efforts, and we supported him. We have been in dialogue with him, directly benefiting from his insights. We have expressed solidarity with his cause and outrage over his political persecution. So today, we as a political family, we honor him with the EPP Merit Award, our party's highest distinction. Alexei, of course, cannot be here today with us in person, since he remains unlawfully imprisoned in Russia due to his political opposition to the Putin regime. So here to receive the Merit Award on his behalf is his close collaborator and a long-time EPP friend and partner, and an outstanding fighter for democracy in Russia in his own right, Vladimir Milov, who will present to us a letter written by Alexei from his prison cell. To make it loud and clear, Alexei should be free and among us today. I now invite EPP President Tusk to present the award. Please do not enter the stage.
My role now.
Mr. Milov, very welcome here.
Thank you so much. It's a great privilege and honor. I have a special message for the EPP Congress from Alexei Navalny. You know that he's in prison now, but he specifically addressed this Congress with his uncomparable sense of humor, but also a lot of sadness about the recent developments and Putin's barbarity and his brutal aggression against Ukraine. Dear Chairwoman, dear Mr. President, Secretary General, the honorable delegates. I began my previous note to the EPP Congress, prepared in November last year, with a joke about all things happening to me: arrests, courts, poisoning, being a part of global conspiracy aimed at preventing me from attending the EPP Congress for years. In this regard, little has changed, except that my prison term had been extended since November from 3 to 9 years, so the waiting won't be too long, just 8 more years, and I will finally be able to speak at the European People's Party Congress in person. I happen to write from Russia, which is now very different, even from the country that it was just a year ago, to Europe, which is also very different now. Few of us were ready for the recent course of events and expected a real large-scale war in Europe in the 21st century. With destroyed cities, many thousands of victims, millions of refugees, and news wires reminding of battlefield reports from 80 years ago. Many mistakes were made. Many of us counted on most important government decisions being made according to logic, albeit cynical, and to extract benefits, albeit selfish. Life has shown that even now, in the 21st century information age, pivotal decisions on war and peace may be just driven by delusional obsessions, madness, self-hypnosis inflicted by one's own endless stream of pathological lies. Probably if Putin had any calculus behind his barbaric actions, it was to overwhelm the West, and primarily Europe, with a state of shock, counting that the West would concede facing Putin's unconstrained ruthlessness, that the West would step aside, surrendering Ukraine to the mighty, dangerous bear that Putin imagines himself to be. Many, unfortunately, share that view. But I'm glad that all these people have turned out to be mistaken, and that the West has shown that democracy is not weakness. Collective and parliamentary decision-making is not a system failure, but a necessary integral feature of the modern free world. Complicated European system is able to act swiftly and effectively, responding to Putin's aggression. The great merit of the European People's Party is that you have proven to be the key pillar of the system. You made Putin, who attacked European peace, imagining himself to be an invincible bear, face not something amorphous, but instead a solid rock. A rock that Putin had smashed into, showing everyone that he's not a mighty bear as he imagines himself, but instead an old and witless cattle who broke his horns against brave Ukrainian resistance, against European solidarity and unity, against European faith in its ideals of freedom. I'm convinced in the coming failure of Putin's military adventurism and bankruptcy of his regime, both economic and moral bankruptcy. And I'm confident that the formula of tyrant's demise will include the key important component: the citizens of Russia. Putin's propaganda tries hard to prove that 70–80% of Russians support the war. That is not true. And even facing the threat of imprisonment, multiple Russians raise their voices against the war. Hundreds of thousands participate in anti-war actions. Tens of thousands are facing arrests and persecution for their anti-war positions right now. Thousands of military servicemen refuse to take part in this barbarity. Accepting the EPP's Merit Award with great gratitude, I consider it to be an award to all my fellow citizens fighting against the dictatorship and war, fighting in Russia. Please do not equalize Putin with the people of Russia. The anti-war movement in Russia is just beginning. And me and my colleagues will try anything possible to make sure that the evil madman Putin will not be able to count on the Russian people as his ally. Our path is with civilized democratic world. Our path is with Europe. And Putin, with his kleptocrats, is a historic mistake which we will do anything possible to correct. Alexei Navalny. And I will add a few words myself. We all, the free people of Russia, we look with absolute shock and grief at the barbarity that Putin is right now engaged in Ukraine against the free Ukrainian people. When we held major opposition rallies across hundreds of cities in Russia in the past years, I'm sure you watched that, many of us brought Ukrainian flags, Georgian flags, flags of Belarus. We want our neighbors to be sovereign, free and happy. We don't want an inch of their territory or just one bit of their sovereignty. We support their European aspirations. And believe us, that's a long road ahead and it's a very hard fight. I served some arrest terms myself, so I know. But Russia will be free. And it will be not anymore an aggressor that everybody condemns it at this moment, but it will be a contributor to a great, united and prosperous Europe, Europe whole, free and at peace. Thank you.